So those are platform as a service, which is commonly referred to as PaaS, and software as a service, which is primarily referred to as SaaS. And this terminology is used to explain two things. One is how the product is packaged together with the software licensing, if that's applicable, the infrastructure, and any sort of maintenance that might be included with the product itself, as well as your ability to control and customize the end solution on your own. And so as you try to determine the difference between a software as a solution provider and a platform as a solution provider, it really falls into four main areas. One is control and customization, management and maintenance, extensibility, and then obviously infrastructure handling. So I'm going to talk about these at a very high level. And if you have questions about this, I'm happy to discuss it at the end. But as you compare the two types of products against each other, a platform as a service provider is essentially a customizable framework that deals with infrastructure, the licensing, et cetera, but you have an exorbitant amount of control over, how that might be configured, how big or small the implementation is, those types of things. Whereas on the software as a service side, they're really billed more as turnkey solutions, meaning that you have very little control over the infrastructure and they manage everything else. So from a maintenance perspective, when you think about platform as a service, they're doing a few things. They're managing the infrastructure, of course, so that would be the hosting. They're managing the CMS application itself, as well as a variety of patching for the CMS. So if you're on a content management system today, that might be, many versions behind. Platform as a service providers almost always install security updates within the platform as a service is provided. And many of them even offer the ability to install feature upgrades, which are optional. The reason they're optional is because organizations tend to want to control the features coming into the solution, meaning if you install a feature update, it might break something that's custom coded, as an example. Or you may not want to take a feature right now because you want to train your staff. Whereas software as a service, you have no control over when those updates come in. It's not a bad thing. It's just if you have an organization that has a lower tolerance for change, so if you have 200 people that manage your website and they're trained on how to manage the website, and on Monday morning they come in to work and things have changed in the back office and they can no longer edit the website the way they know how. Those are considerations when determining the difference between the two platforms and which ones might make sense for your business. If you have a website that has heavy amounts of customization, a platform as a service provider might be the right choice for you, meaning if you have a lot of integration work, platform as a service offers you the ability to write your own APIs if you need to integrate with the APIs, you can change the back office to a certain extent. Whereas software as a service providers, they do offer a robust series of APIs, but what you see is what you get. So what I mean by that is if you want to do something outside of the box, then you're either forced to develop your own middleware to kind of dissect the data before you push it into the system, or you can't do it. And so that's a consideration for many organizations, but realize that for 80% of the organizations out there, software as a service APIs that are available are just sufficient. And lastly, infrastructure handling is a critical decision point between the two types of products. And so if you're a global organization and you have the desire to say, we want to have a node of our content existing in Europe, and we want the data to stay in Europe, and we want a node of the website in the US, and we want everyone else that's not in Europe to be routed to the US and the data will be constrained there, then you want to look at something like a platform as a service where you have more functionality and control over that. Software as a service, you don't historically have control over which regions that your website is hosted in. And also if you want to slice and dice how that is distributed, you often don't have that flexibility either.